You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
Not much, just enjoying this rain. I was telling the guys in the chat, we actually got stuck in the rain twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's Wednesday, so we're both off Wednesday, so we just went out and just paid some bills. And went to go get something to eat. Then went to H-E-B to get a few things. And we ended up getting caught in the rain the first time. It was pouring right when we were walking out, so we had to wait for it to let up.
Yeah.
And got in the car, and then we had to mail out our rent. Came home, and we sat in the driveway for about 10, 12 minutes because it was pouring. And by that time, it was already, my cat decided to walk on my fucking keyboard. By that time, it was already past 8. So I'm like, yeah, I guess there's really no sense in watching Dynamite tonight. But
so you didn't see Dynamite at all?
I didn't see it. I saw clips, unfortunately, but I didn't get a chance to watch the show in its entirety.
Gotcha.
But I've just been talking to the chat, seeing what's going on, and I know what's going on. I know the main event was Copeland and Suzuki. And I just saw a clip of Swerve coming out, but other than that, didn't get a chance to watch the show.
Got it.
But what did you watched it, right?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible, but it's been better than most of the other shows. But yeah, nothing really eventful happened.
Right. Seems that way. But what about what you think about the main event?
I liked it. Very good. I mean, I always have a soft spot for Adam Copeland and Suzuki, so very fond of Suzuki, very fond of the match style. This wasn't a dream match at all. Like, I was like, oh my god, I want to see Edge versus Suzuki, but it was a match I never thought I'd ever see. I'll say that. But first time, very hard hitting, back and forth. Ended up being a very good TV match.
Right, I was telling the guys. So Edge was the one that actually requested the match. He talked to Tony Khan and just said, hey, can you make it happen? Khan's like, yeah, sure, let me see. So, I mean, I don't know, I can't shit on Copeland's run in AEW. I really can't. He seems like he's happy. He seems like he's generally happy.
Yeah,
it's like Christian. Christian, despite how miserable he looks like he's happy. He's doing a lot of his best work, in a while. Granted, a lot of the your dad's dead stuff is maybe getting a little, jarring at times, but he's still doing some of the best shit of his career, and he's one of the brighter spots of AEW, along with, Tony Storm, who, it's weird because she's doing what looks like a Vince gimmick, but people love it. Granted, I think it's a lot more clever than...
telling that to somebody in the shop the other day, too. I was like, this is more like a Vince gimmick, but Tony Khan is, letting her do it. She had a promo segment with Deanna Purrazzo tonight, and the way that the shot was fucking great. So
I saw that.
Yeah, that white shot, and half of the screen was the black and white, half of the screen was just regular color. I thought that was really clever. I gotta give AEW credit on that.
I think what the difference between this and say Vince did something or Bruce Pritchard did something would be that with this, AEW isn't in on the joke, whereas if WWE did it, they'd be in on the joke, if that makes sense. I guess the best way to put it would be with AEW, the one thing I don't want to say I have one thing I'll give them credit for, but one of the things I'll give them credit for is that they are allowed more creative freedom. And granted, not everybody should have creative freedom, but in Tony Storm's case, for the longest time, it's like, yeah, she's good, but what else can you do? And she just came up with this, timeless Tony Storm gimmick of like a Faye Dunaway actress from the 1940s, and it's working. It's getting over because it's clever. Where if WWE tried to do that, it wouldn't be as clever.
Yeah.
They would just try to hammer it home like, oh, it's funny. Here's the funny. Be more funny. You know what I mean? It's like the broken Matt Hardy gimmick. Like that was over because it was something unique and something from Matt Hardy. Whereas when WWE did it, they tried to hammer it home of trying to make it funny.
Yeah.
Where they try to be like, hey, do the laugh again. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I get you.
But again, Tony Storm, she's one of the brighter spots of the company. But yeah, well, just we as far as like the show on docket, obviously Royal Rumble this Saturday. I was thinking about just skipping last Friday's SmackDown because last Friday was kind of just a show, and it was mostly just about promoting the Fatal 4-Way match. So-
I mean, we got way too much stuff to talk about to even entertain that. So
Right, so all in all, just short review of last week's SmackDown. It was a show. That's kind of it. And then, kind of go over the big spots on Monday. One of it being, CM Punk and Cody. Early choice for promo of the year so far. If you want to say it's early candidate, great. But so far it looks like a promo of the year winner. And then NXT, NXT is usually delightful. Last night it was delightful, but nothing really too big happened on NXT last night. If you just want to do maybe like a short review of NXT.
yeah, we could do that. Yeah, for sure.
What else? And then of course news. I got a few news topics. I'm pretty sure you have, most of what I have. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I don't know if you heard of that guy. He's now
I've never heard of him.
never. He's a movie star. I think you might have seen a few of his movies.
Okay. Maybe.
Dwayne the Johnson. I'm playing. He's one of the board members for TKO, WWE Raw, and Netflix. TV ratings, of course, and just John Cena talking about retiring from Logan Paul's podcast. Kevin Patrick. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you're missing the biggest news story of the year so far. WWE Raw on Netflix.
I just said that.
No, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said WWE Raw Netflix.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Right after the Dwayne Johnson thing. And then Kevin Patrick, Finn Balor's contract negotiations, blah, blah, blah. And then, if there's time, do another On This Day in Wrestling History thing. So, and then Dark Side of the Ring.
We got Royal Rumble predictions, too.
I mentioned that at the beginning. So, what do you want to start with first?
Are we recording? Because I don't even know what we're doing right now.
Oh, we're already recording, dude.
Oh, I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Yeah, I usually start exactly at 9. Yeah, just kind of bullshit around here before you come in.
Gotcha. Well, we should probably just start off with the biggest news of the week.
Okay, so where is it at? You talking about Raw Netflix or Dwayne Johnson?
Well, all of it. It's all one thing.
All right, so
we talk about everything there.
Everything. Right, so I have it right here. New York Times. Netflix has streamed WWE's Raw in a $5 billion deal. The weekly wrestling program moved to Netflix in 2025 as part of a 10-year agreement, a big leap into live events for the streaming platform. Netflix reached a multi-billion dollar 10-year deal for the exclusive rights to WWE's flagship weekly wrestling show, Raw. As the streaming giant broadens its offerings with more live content, the deal will bring Raw to Netflix starting next January, so next year. Netflix and TKO Group, WWE's parent company, said in a statement on Tuesday, Netflix will also own the rights to stream WWE's other shows and specials outside the United States. The agreement will cost Netflix over $5 billion for the last 10 years, with an option to extend an additional 10 years or opt out after 5, TKO said in a regulatory filing. Hours later, Netflix said in an earnings announcement that it added 13.1 million subscriptions for the largest fourth quarter gain in company history. The service now has 260 million subscribers worldwide, and there's just a bunch of quotes. So, but yeah, now starting next year, Raw has found a new home on Netflix. I have not had Netflix in a while, so we'll need to obviously get Netflix back. Yeah. But overall, thoughts on this? Because this came out early in the morning on Monday. I opened up my phone. I was not expecting that. I actually called in early Monday morning because I was not feeling well. I was actually sick. So I just look at my phone and I just see all this news. I see all this news just being thrown right in my face. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, give me time to fucking comprehend this shit. But one of the first big ones was Raw going to Netflix starting next year. And then obviously this year, I believe this year, SmackDown will be heading to the USA Network. Yep. And NXT will be heading to CW in late fall.
Yep.
But I mean, this goes without saying. This is huge. Like, this is big for the WWE, for wrestling in general, but obviously for WWE, because this just fills WWE's pockets more with money, with lots and lots of money. I mean, there was a point, half a decade or even a decade ago that, anytime you would hear the report, WWE, we just made more money here than we ever made in the history of forever, in spite of themselves. But now it's, we're making more money, plus we're putting out a better product. But overall, what are your thoughts on WWE Raw heading to Netflix? How do you look at this from a business perspective, not just for the company, but for wrestling in general?
Well, it's big for not just WWE, but it's big for television in general, and where the future of TV is gonna go. Because WWE, they're always the first ones to do something, and others follow. Like the WWE Network, right, where you have a subscription-based service where you have full content of a particular property and live events on there. That ended up becoming, HBO Max, right? It ended up becoming, Paramount Plus. Other companies ended up following that particular model. Now you have WWE being the first weekly television show live on a big streaming platform, and Netflix. You can say the NFL's first with Amazon, yes, but it's not 52 weeks out of the year. This is 52 weeks out of the year for this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yes, the NFL technically had it first with live sports, yes, on Amazon, but this is a little bit, I will say more prevalent because it's 52 weeks out of the year. That's number one. Number two, this can change WWE's product as far as what we see on Monday Night Raw. What about the commercials? Are we still gonna have commercials?
No.
Is it gonna go from 3 hours to 2 hours? Are we gonna get advertisements on the ring aprons now?
I don't mean to cut you off. So just to kind of add to that, Nick Khan confirmed that it's still going to be 3 hours. And they also confirmed that it will be ad-free.
Well, right. But what I'm saying is that it can still be ad-free, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that, how should I say, it doesn't mean that there's still not product placement.
Right. No, you're right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can still have that product placement. You can still have advertisements on the ring apron, on the ring mat, things of that nature, right? Now, the 3 hours, I didn't hear about that. What source did that come from? Do you have that?
I could have sworn it was Nick Khan. Let me
Yeah, I didn't hear him say that on Pat McAfee show. Maybe it was an interview or something.
Keep talking. Let me look for it.
Yeah, sure. But again, this makes a big difference in what we see. Apparently, with this Netflix deal too, as well, it's actually going to be not just in the United States, but it's also going to be in Canada, I believe, the United Kingdom, and like Latin America too. With this here as well, like eventually, because right now, WWE still has Peacock, I believe, through 2026, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you will like to figure that, the content will go straight to Netflix after that, right?
Right.
There's there's a lot of shit going on with this. Like, even with like the current NBC deal, the NBCU deal for Raw. It's airing on USA Network until October 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So, between November, December, and January, it doesn't mean that WWE, are they going to stream on, Peacock? Are they just going to extend that relationship for 3 months? Like, what are they going to do there with Raw? So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now that's not fully fleshed out yet. But again, like, if it's staying 3 hours, great. I don't want it to stay 3 hours, because if it's ad free, it's a lot to intake. They should have a lot more flexibility with this than what they will have on USA Network. They don't need it. It doesn't need to be 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like, if it's ad free, it could be an hour and a half to, maybe 2 hours at most. But, at the end of the day, this is a great move for WWE, obviously. They're getting $500 million a year. After 5 years, most likely Netflix is going to want to keep it, right?
Mm-hmm. And,
it's just great for them overall. You know what I mean? And just bringing in more money for WWE. And not only this brings in more money, like, for the company, but this would be able to help pay talents, and keep talents at a good rate too as well. So this should.
I found the quote. So Nick Khan was speaking to Bloomberg in regards to Raw remaining 3 hours, and I guess it's going to have ads now on Netflix. I guess depending on the. I guess depending on the tier you get. He was asked, "Does this give you greater ad pricing power? This deal?" And he said, "We think so. Look, you've seen what Amazon's been able to do in their ad-supported tier. Netflix is going to have great success in that space. WWE, again, 3 hours a week on Raw every week allows Netflix to monetize this deal and the advertising space in a way that has not been seen before." So that was
that doesn't 100% mean that they're staying 3. I understand what the quote's saying. Like, that doesn't guarantee it's going to stay at 3 hours. Things can change between now and January. Like, just like with Netflix. Netflix is increasing their pricing. They're going to increase their pricing.
Yep, and they're going to they're going to cut the second tier. So it's only going to be the basic ad, or I guess ad, or the one with ads, whatever. That's like $7, and then there's going to be the one that's like 20 something bucks.
Yeah,
that's ad free, but it's premium. So yeah,
like $20 something. That's a ton of fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be paying for Netflix. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I don't even have Netflix right now. I don't even watch anything on Netflix. You know what I mean? As far as movies is concerned, like, I really just have like Shudder.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I used to have Shudder.
Yeah, I got Shudder. So, but anyway, near here or there. But huge deal, big deal. There's a lot more things flowing around out there. But just to get the gist of everything here, like, it is super big. Not just for Netflix, not just for WWE, but for I want to emphasize this, the cable industry in general. I can see TV shows, I can see other content now being exclusives to certain products, to certain streaming platforms. You wait and see. Give it in the next 3-4 years, the TV landscape is going to be 100% different. Not 100%, but a lot different, I should say.
Right. I mean, it's already getting there. I mean, yeah, Netflix again. It's evolving. And like you said, WWE, they kind of, in some ways, invented the wheel of how to push your product. They're the first wrestling company to say, "Hey, we're going to make our own app. We're going to stream live pay-per-views," and now they're on Netflix. Granted, they're not the first one to do streaming because you said the NFL Network kind of did it first.
Well, no, the NFL was on this year. They or last year I think too. They're on Amazon for Thursday Night Football. Right.
So, I mean, this is obviously huge. It's good for the wrestlers too. I mean, because I guess it's kind of like skipping to like contract news because Finn Balor, he hasn't signed a new deal and his contract is supposed to expire after Mania. Drew McIntyre, I think, might be before that or after that. And I mean, do you think when it comes to that kind of stuff, they're just waiting for that deal to fall through so they can get more money?
No, I really just think that we'll speak for Finn Balor right now. Like, I just think like with the whole Finn Balor thing, like his deal's 3 months after, or at least a few months after WrestleMania. So, I mean, I just think that it's not his decision. WWE has to approach him. So
right.
If they haven't approached him yet, then maybe they are weighing on this, but I don't suspect that they're gonna get this money until closer to January next year. So
yeah, you're right. But I'm digging it. I like the deal. It's gonna give Raw a fresh coat of paint. You're gonna not to say you're gonna see like edgy attitude era shit where you're gonna see Tozawa cutting someone's dick off. I mean, that'd be crazy, but you're going to see a different product. You might see maybe a little bit more edgier, quote-unquote, product. And, this is also coming with the news. I think this either came out before or after, now that you got, the new guy, in Kevin Dunn's position, that you're going to be seeing them presenting a more sports-based product, which actually started on Monday, where it was just like little nuances, where like when you saw, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes showing up to the arena, you saw what time they showed up at, which was just like, that's something little and nuanced, but it's interesting. I mean, you've never seen WWE do that in a while, so, or even maybe if at all. But I'm liking the deal. Obviously, I have to get Netflix again. Can't really bum off anyone's Netflix anymore because of their new policies, but I'm liking it.
What do you think this is in reference to, like, ad? Because I know it's going to be ad free, but there's still going to be companies out there wanting to get their, their product on, Raw, especially. Like, what do you think the type of things that we'll be seeing? Like, I did mention, like, advertisers on the mats and maybe around ringside. Like, do you think this would create more of, like, those... the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, match of the week or whatever. What's some of the things that you think you expect to see?
I mean, kind of like what you just said now, where it's just like, the following match is brought to you by McDonald's or whatever. Or you're going to see, maybe ads for like commercials that WWE stars are in. Yeah. Where it's like, Seth Rollins is doing an ad for, a video game. Where it's just like, Seth Rollins likes video games and he's playing the new Mario Kart or whatever the fuck. So it's going to be more ads tied more to WWE rather than like, hey, buy a Honda, or shit like that. So it's again just more money in WWE's pocket. And whereas this time it's, hey, we're going to make more money and we're going to put out a better product, which as a wrestling fan, that's all you want. So, but did you want to move on to The Rock?
Sure.
All right. So this new fella, Dwayne Johnson, on Monday with the news of Raw going to Netflix, was named a board member of the WWE parent TKO Group, granted full ownership of the Rock trademark, and this is on Variety. Dwayne Johnson has joined the board of directors of TKO Group Holdings, Inc., the company formed by Endeavor merged WWE and UFC. He said, "I am thrilled to partner with Dwayne." Or this is Ari Emanuel. "I'm thrilled to partner with Dwayne and welcome his immense talent to TKO's board. Dwayne brings an incredible track record of creating content and building globally recognized consumer brands, and he will play a key role in realizing our ambitions to TKO." WWE has also added that it has entered into a services and merchandising agreement with Johnson. Under that agreement, Johnson will provide promotional, licensing, and other services to the company. Johnson also gains ownership of the trademark name The Rock as part of an intellectual assignment agreement. Per the SEC filing for the announcement, Johnson will also receive just over $30 million in TKO stock. That filing also revealed that Johnson received $491,000 in royalty payments from WWE in 2023. Following the effective date, Mr. Johnson will continue to receive such annual royalties from WWE and will be entitled to receive royalties in connection with the sale of licensed products that utilize the assigned IP in his name, likeness, and other intellectual property rights in accordance with the services agreement. And there's just a lot of other shit. Just a quote from The Rock. "My grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia, my dad, Rocky Soulman Johnson, would have never thought that this day would come. And which is why I'm very humbled to have a seat at the table that has decades of history and family legacy from me." And then he also appeared on on First Take, just promoting the deal. Just chopping up with Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp, which I watched. It was entertaining, as you can imagine. And then brought up possibly facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, of course. But yeah, now The Rock is technically an owner of the WWE, technically. Which, did you have this on your 2024 bingo card at all?
No.
I didn't either. But yeah, the Rock is he's big into investments because he owns the XFL. He just merged with the United States Football League or something like that. And now he's I think he sells his own gin, and he has his own movie company.
Well, he has his own tequila. There you
go. And now he's technically he's a part owner of WWE. So, that's pretty nuts when you think about it. But I don't know. How do you feel this way? Do you think this is something that can go either really well or really wrong? How do you think?
I don't see why this will go wrong. This is more business side for Rock, right? He's smart enough to not to mix business with the with the business of the company versus the on-screen in-ring stuff. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, he's coming into politics so he can win the world title. Like, what? Like shut up. There's a lot of people online that really expose themselves this week. Don't know shit about about business itself. This is good for him, you know what I mean? And getting someone of that stature on the board of directors is, it makes it more legitimate. You know what I mean? Makes your brand even more legitimate. You got The Rock on the board of directors. You know what I mean? I don't know why I know we said we didn't see this on our 2024 bingo card, but we should have saw this coming, maybe. You know what I mean? If we really look at his career and what he does, The Rock being part of the board of the directors. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's something I can see. I didn't think it was gonna be anything like this, but that's something that we should have saw, but we didn't. Just with him being on there, him owning the name The Rock, The Rock is the name of The Rock is very important to him. Obviously, he is and one thing that The Rock always says, wrestling is important to him, which it has been, and I truly believe that he's being genuine when he says that. And him, being on board of directors, is in his way thinks he's giving back. But The Rock is a very smart businessman at the end of the day. He wants to make the WWE even more global than what it is already. He wants to put into more, get into more countries, more easily accessible. He wants to send WWE even to even more countries as well, I believe, right? Pay-per-views in India, and pay-per-views in, name your country. He probably wants to go there, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, I thought, I think this is a very good move, right? And when he said, should I sit at the bar? Should I sit in the booth, or should I sit at the head of the table? Well, he meant this. He didn't mean wrestling Roman Reigns. So,
I mean, potato. But yeah, it is kind of like, it's very apropos that happened at the beginning of the year. That was the first Raw at the beginning of the year, and he's like, let me sit at the head of the table. And now he kind of is. He's sitting, at the head of the table in the boardroom. And, when I said could this go wrong, I'm not saying I think it's going to go wrong. Because, again, The Rock is a smart businessman. I don't think WWE or TKO would have said, hey, want to come join us? Help us out. Let's use your wisdom. He is a very smart businessman. He's not in debt as far as I know. He doesn't have any heat with anyone. I mean, I guess if you ask, people that worked in, DC or WB or whatever, but that's different. But, this is good, obviously, because it's The Rock. He's a name that's transcended wrestling because he has two different audiences. He has the people that knew him as a wrestler, and he has the people that know him as Dwayne Johnson. So he's able to kind of like fish out his reach and bring in more audiences, and like you said, bring in better deals for WWE, bring in more international deals, because pretty soon they're going to want to do NXT in what is it, Japan or China?
Japan.
Which we'll talk about Okada soon. Maybe even bring in more countries for WWE to do more NXT stuff. More stuff in Europe. Go ahead.
And sorry to interrupt, but just to go back to the Netflix thing too as well. UFC they're on ESPN Plus right now, so UFC, like, once they're dealing with ESPN Plus, they may end up going on Netflix as well. And I think The Rock may have a deal going on with that too as well. So The Rock is always, not always, but like he always likes to be involved part of like the UFC as well. Like, remember, he'll go like to UFC events and like hand the belt to people and things of that nature. So I think this UFC plus The Rock being on the board of directors, this was all 100% calculated. I think this was all something that they wanted to do at one time, and to make it a huge news story. And this is the biggest news story, at least over the past, like, on the business side, not talking about the in-ring stuff, but this is a huge news story over the last few months for WWE on the business side of things.
Yeah, just again, WWE making more money, and this time it's not in spite of themselves. And again, UFC's gonna eat too. They're gonna have a place at the table on Netflix. Maybe allegedly.
That's
allegedly.
I'm assuming that.
I mean, you never know. It could happen. I mean, again, more money. But yeah, it's just, again, crazy to think about that The Rock and Triple H have been feuding since, what, 1995, 96?
And at least 97, yeah.
Yeah, and then now they're, running the company. In different aspects, but they're still running the company, which is nuts to think about. But
yeah, The Rock is Triple H's boss, technically.
Yeah, technically. So, but The Rock wins the feud, I guess. But this is good. This is good news. And to kind of like segue into another topic, I think you kind of touched base on a little bit, was a lot of people kind of showed their ass on social media, especially after Monday. I don't have the quote in front of me, but it's that that Sports Illustrated thing where they said, that they have I guess the already set in stone match card at Mania, and that Cody's not going to finish his story. And then
I got it right here. It says multiple sources close to Triple H have indicated that Cody Rhodes will not headline this year's WrestleMania, nor will he finish his story at WrestleMania. And that was coming from Sports Illustrated, which is not around anymore. I mean, well, as far as apparently everyone got fired, so I don't even know what the hell's going on with Sports Illustrated.
I don't know. But continue.
That was it. That was
no. But yeah, just Cody Rhodes isn't going to be in the main event, and that he's apparently going to wrestle CM Punk, and that Gunther is going to wrestle Seth, and it's going to be Roman and Rock. Blah blah blah. To which I forgot the tweet, but it's like I think somebody put. It's almost as if somebody from Sports Illustrated watched one episode of Raw and assumed what the fucking Mania card's going to be. Because again, they've been kind of building the show up, not kind of, but they've been building the show up since pretty much last year after Mania, and you kind of have a good idea on what the matches are going to be, right. And they're not just going to spoil everything for you on one show. They're hyping up the Rumble. You know, the Punk and Cody promo was to hype up the Rumble, which it did. It did its fucking job because that promo it was everything it needed to be.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was great.
Yeah, and Gunther and Seth had a good promo too. That was to hype up the Rumble. Last week, Becky and Rhea, that was to hype up the Rumble. So, I know you and me kind of were like, did they just kind of give away the match? No, again, it's just to hype up the Rumble. It's just a really goddamn good promo. So, just people showing their ass. A lot of these news journalists, quote unquote.
Well, I'll stop right there. I'll stop you right there. I'm not trying to defend him, but he was fed. Whoever gave this article and they were fed this information.
Right.
Now, I don't believe the information that was fed, but if someone was given to them and they feel that they're a reputable source, they're going to report on it. So I wouldn't really get mad at the people who were reporting. I'll get mad at the people who filmed the information in the first place.
True, but
that's kind of like me. Like, hey Drew, look. Yeah, I'm gonna quit the show, but don't tell nobody I'm gonna quit the show or anything like that. But yeah, I'm gonna quit the show, and RJ's gonna take my spot, and that may not be. That's not true at all. Well, I mean, but I'm just saying,
whoa.
Well, I mean, but I'm just saying, I'm not quitting the show, and that's not true at all. But let's say that, you go out there and say, hey, Justin's quitting and it's not true. You know what I mean? So it's like, should we get mad at you because you were fed the information? Or should we get mad at the people who fed you the information? You know what I mean? So these guys, they were just fed the information and they just put it out there.
Well,
you know what I mean? Now, at times, some of these people, will fabricate some of the information that they were brought out. I don't believe this story. I think they were just fed this information. Maybe Triple H is like, hey, just feed these guys this information so we could just, try to, so we could try and throw them off the scent. You know what I mean? Yeah, tell them that Cody's not gonna finish the story. You know what I mean? Even though we know that he's gonna finish the story. So it could be that too as well. So again, not trying to defend the Sports Illustrated or anything like that, but guys, let's use our heads a little bit here. Do you think that they were probably just going out there just to make up information to get backlash? What good does that do? I think they were just fed the information and they were just reporting on it. Plain and simple.
Okay, here's the thing. I kind of get where you're coming from, where it's like these guys have a job to do, but at the same time, I think they should know better. I think they should at least try and find if there's any legs to these sources that they're given. And also, how
do we know that they did not do that though?
Well, let me ask you something, because you mentioned something about Triple H. Do you think maybe Triple H is kind of purposely feeding them bad information?
Well, yeah, possibly. Remember what we got out of WWE about CM Punk?
Yeah.
And Sean Ross Sapp reported hey, I don't believe that CM Punk's coming to WWE right now. It's the same exact situation.
Yeah, Triple H, has a history with, dirt sheets, and I'm pretty sure he fucks with a lot of people. People are like, Triple H buries people, Triple H does A, B, C, and D, and Triple H is like, yeah, sure, whatever. I have a feeling he's that kind of guy where he's just like, sure, whatever, believe what you want to believe. And like you just said, the whole CM Punk thing, where it's just Sean Ross Sapp and, Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez and Denny Saucedo are like, yeah, Punk's not coming back, and he came back. Or even like
But
a year before.
again,
Even like a year.
they were fed the information.
I know. Even like a year before that, with Cody, it's like, yeah, Cody's not going back to WWE after all, and he comes back.
Well, that's why I say, from what I've been told, they're
Yeah.
not making up the information like, hey, CM Punk's not coming back. It's from what I've been told. So this is the same thing in the situation.
Right.
What they've been told.
Sasha, same thing. Like, she's more than likely coming back. I'm just gonna say she's gonna come back, and you hearing the same shit. She's going to AEW. She's going to AEW, and like every week, it's like she's gonna show up in AEW tonight. Okay, not tonight, but tonight. Okay, not tonight, but tonight. Okay, not tonight. And again, I'm not gonna say I'm mad at these people for trying to make a living and do their jobs, but again, they show their ass a lot.
So should they not report on it at all? Then
No,
just
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hey, if that's how you make your living, I'm not going to be mad at you. But that's just kind of how I feel about it. I have no issue with people trying to make a living, as long as they're not hurting children or animals. I'm just going to put it that way. If this is how Dave Meltzer makes his living, this is how Sean Ross Sapp makes his living, or like Ruben said, lying.
Well, yeah, and that's the other side thing as well. Like, if they're lying, then okay, then there's blatantly lying. Then you know what I mean. But I know we're gonna talk about Okada in a little bit, but there's a report saying that the talks are premature too. You know what I mean? There was talks of how should I say? There was talks of remember with the whole CM Punk fiasco. We just talked about it right now. But like, hey, he may be coming. He's not going to be coming to WWE. He ended up coming in, right? Or hey, AEW is going to get the max deal. Still hasn't gotten the fucking max deal yet, right? So really, it's really up to us to make that determination, and which we did here because I don't believe this story from Sports Illustrated. I don't. No. But some people, they take these stories, they run with them, and they just they don't try to use process of elimination and try to think for themselves. They just take these stories and they just believe what they see, and they don't try to make a responsible decision based off that information.
Right. And it's just, I think another thing that does come into play about how the booking is just, and again, I'm going to be a WWE, dick rider on this one, but, Triple H is just doing such a good job at booking the shows that I just think that we were so predestined, or how's the word go? Predestined or whatever, on how, Vince used to book the shows, or it's just like, let's hot shot everything. And let's kind of look like we're booking it. Whereas Triple H is like, no, let's make this interesting. Let's throw people off. Let's make them think that they're thinking. And I think, you have a lot of people in that audience that were so used to the old way of booking that they're just now getting used to how, Triple H books shit. So that's why you have people, from Sports Illustrated, like you said, most of their staff is fired, so I don't know how they're fucking booking shit, or how they're, putting out these articles that are just like, oh, I guess we know what the main event of Mania is now, because we have a source, quote unquote. And
I mean, I don't know. Well, I think I don't know like what happened in Sports Illustrated. I haven't really had the time to look it up, but I think they may still be around as far as like digital stuff, but like the actual magazines, they're gone. So, but yeah, anyway.
Anywho, but Okada, just kind of segue into that. Okada was allegedly likely to be heading to WWE once he finishes up his remaining NJPW commitments. Fightful noted that sources across WWE, AEW, and NJPW have said that the reports of Okada to WWE and NXT are quote-unquote premature at the time. F4WOnline.com is also reporting that the following in regards to if Okada is WWE bound. Those close to Okada had no knowledge of the situation. Okada has told a few friends this past week they had not made a decision, and those in WWE had not heard of any such deal. WWE NXT star Dijak commented on the rumors on the following message via Twitter X. I don't give the slightest shit about wrestling Okada unless he's the NXT champion, so you can take your fantasy booking nonsense and go F yourself with it. I love Dijak. And I know Okada responded, and wish I saved the tweet. But
He responded? I didn't see that tweet.
he did respond. I can pull it up right now. He actually replied in Japanese, of course. I know, and I think Dijak went, "Yeah, I ain't reading that." Hold on, let me pull it up.
This is what, like yesterday they responded?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, I'm on his Twitter. I don't see a response.
I think he might have deleted the tweet.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he deleted the tweet because maybe WWE was like, maybe you should take that down because we do want to sign this guy.
Let me see.
I think I might have screenshotted it. Hold on.
And you said Dijak responded to that tweet?
Oh, I screenshotted it. There you go. All right, so Okada actually requoted it, and it was actually Okada. He put in Japanese, "Take off your stupid glasses." And Dijak responded, "I'm not running through that Google Translate, little bro, plus ratio."
I don't even see.
Now it's legit, but I think he took it down.
Oh, well, okay. I see Dijak's response on his Twitter.
Yeah, so I'm pretty
But
sure.
I don't see the Okada. So Okada must have. Yeah, he must have did take it down then. Okay. All right.
So yeah, Dijak's great. I love him. But yeah. So Okada went from being WWE bound to now it's.
He did say, "I don't care that it's fake. I couldn't read it anyway." So maybe it was a fake Okada.
I mean, I looked it up. It was him.
It says this post is from a suspended account. That wasn't Okada's Twitter.
Okay, then maybe it was a fake. I don't know.
Yeah, because I would have heard about that.
Anyways, Okada went from being WWE bound as of Monday to now it's quote unquote premature talks. Again, what we just said earlier about Cody, Punk, and possibly Sasha. I mean, we talked about this ad nauseum about Okada. I mean, he has a famous wife, a famous actress wife in Japan. We kind of talked about, he more than likely might want to stay in AEW because, he has that option of, going back home and coming as he pleases. Whereas if he goes to WWE, he'll have to, maybe be forced to move to the States. I don't know. But, yeah. Overall, what do you think about Okada, the Okada situation?
I'll just wait until we see something official. That's all I can really say. I'd rather have Okada. So Okada's done with New Japan. That we know. I will say 90% he's coming to the U.S. Is either going to be AEW or WWE. People are saying TNA. Hey, I think he'll be great in TNA, but he'll be a big fish in a small pond. And the reason why he's leaving New Japan because he wasn't making enough money. So it's really just AEW and WWE. I'd rather see him in WWE because same thing I said about Will Ospreay, the fresh matchups and everything. But I think AEW could be better for him for his personal life because Tony Khan may not want to have him every single week, and he can stay in Japan and call when needed. But his wife is a voice actress, so she's not on camera actress, so she can probably do her work remotely. So she can live in the United States and still do her work. But who knows? Maybe for like certain things like interviews, or like in-person appearances, things of that nature. That may require for her to fly out to Japan every now and then. So I don't know what kind of burden that will do. But yeah, I'd rather see Okada in WWE. AEW is definitely still in play as well. I mean, to be honest, I'll be fine. I want him in WWE, but because AEW, I'm not gonna poo-poo and cry over it either. There's still a lot for him to do over there as well. I just know that in WWE I think his booking and everything would be a lot better. A lot of people want Okada in WWE. I had a dude. I swear to God, I had a guy that came in my shop a couple days ago, and I actually, when he came in, I actually had the Okada Bryan Danielson match on, and he came in, he's like, "Oh, what are you watching?" I was like, all I said was, oh, just some New Japan, you know what I mean? So, because most people don't, when they come in the shop, they don't know, they never really seen New Japan before. So that was just some New Japan. And he was like, oh, that's Bryan Danielson. I was like, yeah, Bryan Danielson. Yeah, I said, yeah, he's doing his thing over there. Then we started talking for a little bit. Then he brought up, like, he was like, oh yeah, did you hear about Okada coming? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I heard about that. And he was like, yeah, I'm so excited, man. Like, I can't wait for him, to come over and see what he can do, in WWE. I was like, yeah, very good. And so he tried to pull up a picture of him on the phone. He pulled up Tanahashi. And I was like, no, that's Okada right there on TV. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot how they both look. I was like, dude, you're not a fucking like stop faking it. So there's just people, but the point I'm trying to get to, they're just people that just want Okada because they heard about him and like, oh, screw AEW and I just want him over here because WWE and I love WWE. So you're wanting them for the wrong reasons. Like, if you want to kind of come to WWE, you should know that, A, obviously he's a fantastic wrestler, but also B as well, his storytelling is top notch in the ring too as well. And it's gonna be a lot for him to get over in WWE as far as like in an immediate sense. But I believe in Triple H to actually do right by him, because he did right by Nakamura obviously when he first came in. But Okada's 36 years old. He's getting to the tail end of his prime run. So hopefully if he does come to WWE, great. But if he goes to AEW, I'm not gonna bitch about it either. But even though I know that AEW long term probably won't be the best place for him.
No, and I think for someone like Okada, he kind of looks at it that way, where it's like, what's better for me, like you said, the long term. And also
WrestleMania too. That's another thing.
WrestleMania, he wants to be at WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels wants him as well, not just Triple H. And the story is that if he does come here, he'll have to go through NXT first, which again makes sense because he's going to have to get acclimated with the American style and also the WWE style.
Here's the thing: he's not going to be on NXT. He's not going to be on NXT. He's being sent to NXT, kind of like Jade Cargill, to learn the WWE craft. He will debut on the main roster. There's no reason why Kazuchika Okada will be in NXT on TV.
Right, and also another thing, that Jeff Lippman pointed out in front of the show is, Nakamura's been saying chaos a lot. And again, I'm not the biggest NJPW connoisseur, but and you educated me on this. That was a faction they were in, right? Nakamura and Okada.
Yeah, Nakamura, Okada, Will Ospreay. I can actually bring up the faction here. Hold on, and keep talking as I bring that up.
So again, I'm kind of like partial to Okada. Like, I obviously know the name. I've seen a few of his matches. I mean, I think he's really good. I think he has a look. Again, just to kind of point this out, something that Kevin Castle points out, and he's right about it, is, he's going to have to get acclimated with the English language. Granted, you have Triple H running things, so it's not going to be like where they force Nakamura to cut these American promos. For 10-minute long American promos, they're allowing him to cut his own promos in his own language. So I'm intrigued. I'm just gonna say that at the thought of Okada coming to WWE, because again, you have more stars. You have another audience you can bring with you to WWE, and also WWE doing the Japan thing for NXT. So, and I agree with you. Someone like Okada who has a big name in Japanese wrestling and just wrestling in general, you're not just going to have him go on NXT.
But this is like the biggest thing. Like Okada, like, people don't understand like the magnitude of this. Okada leaving New Japan is like basically like John Cena or Roman Reigns leaving WWE to go to New Japan. That's how big this is.
Right. Yeah. You're definitely right. Like he's definitely huge. Yeah, it's just like, again, not the biggest NJPW connoisseur, but even I know who Okada is, because that's a name that I've just heard like constantly. Same thing with like Kenny Omega. Same thing with Will Ospreay, Tanahashi. You know what I mean? Like those are names that have been like burrowed into my brain because I hear them a lot. But go ahead.
So these are some of the former members of Chaos. Some are current, some are not around, obviously. So I was going to name some of the names here. So Chuck Taylor from AEW, Okada, obviously, Chris Statlander, Leo Rush, Orange Cassidy, Rocky Romero. These I'm just naming like the current members, quote unquote, right now. Trent Beretta. I'm gonna skip over names, obviously, that you don't know, but Brian Kendrick, former member, Davey Richards, Albert, Giant Bernard, was a former member, Jay White, Carl Anderson, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, Low Key, Shinsuke Nakamura, of course, Tetsuya Naito, Wheeler Yuta, and Will Ospreay. And these are like just former associates, but like not officially members, part of the group. Flip Gordon, Danhausen, Tajiri, and this is the most random one here, but Val Venus.
Hello, lady.
Yeah, so those are former members or associates of Chaos. So, but Chaos has been around since 2009.
Nice.
It's been around forever.
So let's say they do sign Okada. He does his training with NXT or just Performance Center in general. You bring him out to the main roster. Do you pair him with Nakamura? Since Nakamura has been saying, I would pair him with Nakamura
to start off with, yes, because obviously Nakamura is obviously known, you know what I mean, and he'll help get Okada over. They could be a tag team and maybe win the tag team titles, right? And after that they can break up and have their feud, and and just let Okada go after that.
I mean, that'd be nice. That'd be pretty cool. We'll talk about the Rumble obviously later, but are we done with this topic?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about a little bit about Raw and NXT, and then we'll move on to Rumble. So Raw happened like it does every Monday. Overall, pretty good show. Raw, nice go home show for the Rumble. The show opened with Seth Rollins coming out to address his Mania status and his championship status, and crying at the beginning of the promo. I guess to kind of swerve people a little bit to make it think that maybe he's giving up, or not giving up the title, but vacating the title. Gunther comes out with Imperium. Gunther to come out and talk a little bit of shit, and basically just to say, if once I win the Rumble, I'm going to fight you. I'm going to choose you as my challenger. And Seth just says, let me finish. You and your boys, and let me finish. The doctor says I might need surgery, and I'll be out for 5 months. But I don't give a damn what the doctor says. I'm coming back. I'm going to make it for Rumble. Not Rumble. I'm going to make it for Mania. And yeah, which kind of figured. I mean, because I think, I don't know if you and me talked about this. We did, but just have Seth come in and do promos. Don't let him do anything physical until Mania. Just no matches. He doesn't need to have matches until Mania. I know he wants to do the Elimination Chamber in Australia. Just come out and do a promo, and that's it. So that's the best way you can protect Seth until Mania. So Seth is not vacating the title. He's not retiring. He hasn't lost his smile, as far as I'm concerned. He's here to stay until Mania. So, good promo to open the show. But what'd you think about the promo?
Good. Set it up very nicely for what we can possibly see in the future as well. Gunther coming out saying that, hey, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, I'm going to capture you. It's giving you a lot of doubt on what you think the actual Royal Rumble is, actually going to, how it's actually going to go down. But, I'm glad Seth didn't drop the title. I'm glad that he is, actually going through with this, but there's still a lot of time to go before we actually know exactly what's going to happen, towards WrestleMania.
Right. And again, I liked how Triple H is kind of like, and there's a line that Kevin Nash had a while ago about booking, where if you make the fans think that they're thinking, they're going to get pissed off. And I like that terminology of just like, I want you to make me think that I'm thinking. Because I like to be surprised. I hate obvious. I hate, predictable. Sometimes predictable can be good as long as you know how to book it and get there. But, I mean, this Rumble is going to be very unpredictable. The men's side kind of seems very two-sided. You have Punk and Cody. The women's is a free-for-all. You have no idea who's going to win. So, but we'll get to that. So let's get to the biggest one of the night. You had CM Punk and Cody Rhodes come out to kind of air out their dirty laundry to each other. Punk said, "I want to talk about your dad." Saying that in 2007, when you got brought into the WWE, your dad, the American Dream, asked me to look after you. And when the American Dream asks you to do something, you say yes. So I look after you. I was your friend. I was like your big brother. Yada yada yada. And then went on to say, I didn't have a famous dad growing up. My dad was an electrician, so it's very ironic. I'm more of the American Dream than you are. Burn. Gets to Cody. Cody says, you looked out for me. You were my friend. We went our own ways. When you left, you didn't leave the torch. You didn't pass the torch to somebody. I ended up taking it because we both kind of went similar paths, kind of subtly mentioned AEW. And so in a lot of ways, that makes me more CM Punk than you. And, Punk took off his jacket because it was getting kind of hot. It was a little heated. And they just got into each other's face, and Punk said, you have to finish your story, but wait, there's a star that's much bigger than you that's going to win the Royal Rumble and prevent you from finishing your story, essentially, and that's CM Punk. And Cody, I forgot what Cody said after that, but after he left, he kind of like shoulder bumped Punk, and then Punk grabbed him, and they turned around and got into each other's faces very intensely. Again, grade A promo.
Super 50-50 too, like a legit 50-50.
What do you mean, like crowd?
The crowd was 50-50 cheering, like CM Punk and Cody.
Of course. Oh, of course. Like again, like the Cody booking has been perfect because they haven't shoved him down anyone's faces, and whenever there is a point, whenever he is shoved down people's faces, they pull it back. So he's done a great job as being this white meat babyface, in an era where there's a lot of gray area guys, and he's like the ultimate babyface. And also the news that he's on the cover of WWE 2K was it 24, which is coming out in March. He's going to be on the standard edition. Rhea and Bianca are on the deluxe. So it's the first time two female wrestlers are on the cover of WWE 2K. So he's totally not going to be in the main event of WrestleMania this year. But like you said, 50-50. People were chanting for Cody. People were chanting for Punk. Nobody was getting booed. Again, this is just to set up the Rumble. You're obviously going to see these two wrestle sometime down the line. Maybe SummerSlam. Maybe next year's WrestleMania. You have a white meat babyface in Cody, and maybe next year you have a hot heel in CM Punk. So you never know. But again, this is my early choice for promo of the year. If there's anything else that follows this, we'll see. But so far, this is my choice. But what did you think of this?
We
promo?
got a long fucking way to go.
Oh yeah, but again, early choice. This is just a perfect promo. Did everything you needed to do, and as Martin Scorsese,
I believe in the next 2 months we're gonna get a lot of great promos being WrestleMania seasons coming up. So.
Oh yeah, and like Martin Scorsese always says, this was pure cinema. But what'd you think?
Great promo. Got the point across. At the end of the day, it was a point to build up the Royal Rumble match, and you got two of the biggest names in wrestling right now going toe to toe in the ring with each other. So I thought this promo was no pun intended, I thought it was dynamite.
Exactly. And again, it makes everybody hyped for the Rumble. I know I am. Can't wait. I want it to come right now. So it's in the next 3 days, so we gotta wait. But the rest of Raw was actually pretty good. It was a pretty solid show, nice go home show. After that, you had the New Day versus Imperium, which ended in a double count out. I guess they're pushing New Day as more serious, less jokey, which good. Because, again, I like the New Day. I mean, there was a point where I was kind of getting sick of the New Day, but I like the fact that they're going for the more approach of New Day saying, hey, everyone thinks we're jokes. Everyone thinks that we're all about bootios and pancakes and unicorn horns and whatever. Like, we're actually serious. We're 12-time tag team champions for a reason. So, hey, good. You don't want these guys to get stale. They still make you money. They still bring in revenue. So, they beat the shit out of each other outside of the ring, and one of them went through a table. It was fun. It was lots of fucking fun. Thoughts on that?
Great match. Great TV match.
All right, I agree. Next, you had Ivy Nile versus Valhalla. Nile won. It was a match. So
this next hour Raw was shit.
Yeah, I agree. Nia Jax had a promo that was interrupted by Becky and Bayley. I was doing laundry, so I missed it. The Miz and Tom and Nick Mysterio. Or Dominic Mysterio, I'm sorry. Mysterio beat The Miz. It was a match. Didn't really do anything special. Another really... probably my favorite match of the night is he had Chad Gable versus Ivar.
Yeah.
Really giving this match time and making it seem like a special match. It even got a segment. So, really showcasing that Chad Gable is really fucking good. He suplexed Ivar not just once, but twice, and the second time was off the fucking apron. Not the apron, the ring post. And Chad Gable's a beast. What else can we say? Like, the place was going nuts for it. Valhalla interferes to kind of, distract Chad Gable. Ivar gets the win. But, again, just Ivar is, he's definitely on my list for underrated wrestler of the year. Not my overall choice, but he's on my list of underrated wrestlers of the year. But,
Chad Gable?
Chad Gable definitely belongs on there.
Yeah.
Both of these gentlemen belong on there, but I wanted to give Ivar his flowers, so to speak.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But, what'd you think about this match?
It was a fantastic showcase match between two great underrated talents. What more can you ask for? I thought that was a very, very good TV match.
Next, you had Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. It happened. Moving on. And main event, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Good Haas match. These two are great. Drew McIntyre is still doing a great job at his heel work. Damian Priest kind of like leaning into being a babyface, more so with R-Truth. R-Truth still wanting to give Damian his cut of the t-shirts. Kind of figured Drew would win this in some fuckery of some sort. During the match, R-Truth actually came out during the match, which I kind of got annoyed by that, because that kind of made R-Truth look like an asshole by costing Damian the match by trying to give him his money during the match. But whatever. Drew ended up winning, and good match, good show. Kind of like you said, the middle was a little clunky, but overall I thought it was a good go home show overall. So, you have any thoughts before we move on to NXT?
5 out of 10 show.
Okay. Alright. I also have the producers for the segments and the matches. Alright, so New Day versus Imperium. The producer was Kenny Dykstra. Ivy Nile versus Valhalla was Adam Pearce. Nia Jax and Becky Lynch promo was TJ Wilson. The Miz and Dominic Mysterio was Jamie Noble. Chad Gable and Ivar, that was produced by Jason Jordan. Good on Jason. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark was TJ Wilson and Molly Holly. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre was Abyss and Michael Hayes. Doesn't tell me the producers for CM Punk and Cody. So, but we'll move on to NXT.
Phil Brooks and Cody Runnels.
Yeah, why the fuck not? It wouldn't surprise me if they just said, you know what, we trust you guys, go out there and do your promo. So, cool. NXT was last night, as it usually is. The first match was a Dusty Classic. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Good match, really good match between these two. It's weird because you have one team that's huge, and then you have another team that's more so about smaller, high flying, fast paced guys, and they made it work. They all had good chemistry in the ring. I'm liking Braun Breaker and Corbin together. They're kind of like that buddy cop comedy, and they're making it work. And Breaker had that sick DDT. It was like a variation of like an F5 and a DDT. That looked fucking cool. But
Are you talking about the when you picked him up and did like a cutter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was sick. Breaker is just like, he's only killing time before he goes to the main roster. At this point, he's been ready for the longest time. Yeah. So, but good match, good way to start the show. I don't know if do you have any comments for that?
No comments. I thought, obviously, I feel about Nathan Frazier and Axiom. I think they're fantastic. I like the dynamic between Corbin and Breaker, but it's elementary. We know what the finals is gonna be, so just gotta get there.
Next is yet a segment with the return of William Regal, coming out of Shawn Michaels' office with Ava Raine, and announcing that Ava Raine is the new general manager for NXT. So good to see William Regal back on WWE television. And do you have any? What do you think about old Willie coming back to WWE?
Nice surprise. This is just him getting his bearings back on TV before he has bigger and better things coming later in the year.
Nice. Next is you have the debut of Maddie Sinclair, or Maddie Renkowski, who's now Ren Sinclair, local girl. So it was nice seeing one of her own on television, on WWE television.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm sorry, but it's great to see her because, like, I saw her at Hybrid and Mission Pro and RCW, and getting to meet her, she's super cool in person.
Yeah, I bet.
So just like be able to talk to her and like I won't say like I know her, I won't say that we're friends or anything, but like she knows me, all right. She knows I have a shop and stuff. She never stopped by the shop actually, but now I think about it. But anyway, but yeah, it's super cool to see her on TV, and I wish her all the best and all the luck in the world, and I know that she's gonna kill it for sure.
Oh yeah, she did a great job last week. She did a good job this week. She did a backstage segment before the match, basically being nervous about her first, big singles match in WWE. And then Fallon Henley came out to kind of like put her mind at ease. Fallon Henley looking more and more like Mickie James. I don't know if that's just me, or did you notice that?
No.
Okay. But yeah, she's looking more and more like Mickie James. Even sounded like her. But Ren Sinclair, which I don't know. If anything, just call her Maddie Sinclair. That sounds like an actual name, but whatever. I
think Ren's fine. I mean, they could have went with it anyway because it's both takes off of her name. So,
I don't know. But anyways,
Maddie Sinclair, Maddie Renkowski, Ren Sinclair, Renkowski, Ren. I mean, I don't know.
Anywho, she had her debut match against Lash Legend. Legend won, which you kind of all expected. And it was kind of a basic squash match, but Sinclair still got some licks in. And afterwards, Metaphor, mainly Lash Legend and what's her name? The other girl.
Carl Jackson.
Jackson, there you go. Looked like they're going to team up on her, and then Fallon Henley came out to make the save. So now looks like Fallon Henley and Sinclair are going to team up together for the time being. So good that she has her. I guess now she has her own mentor in NXT. She has Fallon Henley. So I like it. I like it. All right. What happened next? Oh, your favorite segment of the night, I'm assuming. Von Khali.
Yeah, it was great. Fucking the segment of the fucking year already. So there you go. he was fucking tackling dummies, just bam, man. Love that shit, man. You know, he was like, oh, you know, return to my stopping grounds. Love it.
And then you had Robert Stone's kids. I think those are his kids, right?
I think so, yeah.
Who were there to coach him. So, you know, again, it was a cute segment. You know, Shawn Michaels and Ava Raine have made me care about Von Wagner. So they've even made Jeff Lippman care about Von Wagner, and Jeff Lippman hates everything. So, good job, Shawn and Ava Raine. Next match, you had Dijak and Joe Gacy, which didn't even start because these two just beat the fuck out of each other. Dijak chokeslammed Gacy through the table and threw him through the NXT sign. So again, I like the fact that this wasn't a squash match or they didn't treat Joe Gacy like a joke. They just had him go out there and just, you know, say, hey, I'm not afraid of you, Dijak, and just beat the fuck out of him. And Dijak returned it because Dijak's a beast. But any thoughts on that?
Well, that was a good segment. You know, I like, you know, I always been a little bit more fondly of Joe Gacy than what you have been. But Joe Gacy, you know, with this new role that he's doing, I think he's starting to come into his own. I think he's getting a little bit more response from the fans or whatnot. So hopefully they continue this momentum with them.
I like this Joe Gacy now because, again, before I wasn't feeling it, but now I like it. I like the crazy persona. I like that he seems like he's more comfortable, and he's actually connecting to the fans more. So I like it. I'm digging it so far. Next is Lexis King, you know, do a pre-match promo against Baird Treehill, and then he went out to
Trey Bearhill.
Trey Bearhill. Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry. Any Native American listeners listening, I'm very sorry. Lexis King versus Trey Bearhill to kind of, I guess, top off their quote-unquote feud that's been going on. It was a match. It, again, wasn't anything special. wasn't terrible. Wasn't great. It was a match. Did what it needed to do. Lexis King won. I was a little disappointed because I was kind of thinking this could be the perfect way to maybe start a feud with Lexis King and Eddie Thorpe. To maybe have, you know, Thorpe come out and, you know, defend the culture, defend Bearhill's honor.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're gonna be a fucking tag team eventually, so that's coming.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a feud with Lexis King and Thorpe. That'd be a pretty good match. There'll be some good matches.
Yeah, I think that may be coming down the pipeline.
All right. Afterwards, Lexis King tried to flirt with Thea Hale, which I thought was kind of weird because Thea Hale's 19 and he's like almost 30, but whatever. But Thea Hale's also dating Nathan Frazier, and he's kind of somewhat the same age as King, but whatever. And then Osborne kind of scared him off, and they're doing this thing where Thea Hale's crushing on Osborne. I don't know, whatever. Next is you had Elektra Lopez appear on Noam Dar's show. Or no, not Elektra Lopez. Lola Vice to appear on Noam Dar's show and just basically say that, you know, Elektra Lopez was leeching off of her. I'm sorry. Elektra Lopez comes out and basically just tears Lola Vice to shreds and just says, you know, you're only here because you put up a video of you shaking your ass for Instagram. Or, you know, fighting in your bikini. And then just, like, fucking jumped right on her and just started beating the shit out of her and was yelling puta. Which I'm pretty sure Shawn Michaels is in the back going, oh, can't have that. But, yeah, just go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't say nothing.
Oh, I thought you did. But, yeah, just two hot Latino women. What else can you want? But, yeah, it was a good promo. I mean, mainly from Elektra Lopez's side. Lola Vice, again, aesthetically, and I mean this in the actual terminology, aesthetically, looks like a star. Just needs to get better at promos, needs to get better at, you know, matches. But yeah, she's on her way. She looks like she's taking it seriously. But moving on. Let's see. Oh, and Chase U is no more. The Deaders came back calling for Chase U.
That hurt my heart seeing that. They were taking the fucking deaths, for God's sakes.
They took Duke's trophy.
Oh man.
That hurt. Again, it was like the ending of Boy Meets World, where Mr. Finley said, Mr. Feeney said, class dismissed. I love you all. Which actually Andre Chase put up that quote. So it really did break my heart that Chase U is no more. So hopefully JCJ can do something about it, but for the time being, Chase U is no more. Let's see. Dragon Lee versus Scripps. Dragon Lee won. OTM destroyed the restaurant of the family, including Parker, by laying out Rizzo. D'Angelo, Stacks, and Rizzo warned that they would get revenge. So it's setting up a match at Vengeance Day. So looking forward to that. And now they're pairing Brinley Reese with Idris Anafe and Malik Blade. So cool. Next is and it's thundering outside, so hopefully it doesn't cut off the fucking power. Blair Davenport versus Carmen Petrovic, I'm sorry. Again, it was a match. Petrovic, she's not terrible, but she's very green. So she needs to she has all the time in the world to get better. Yeah. But this is a match. It didn't really do anything special. Next is you had Trick Williams versus Josh Briggs. Earlier in the night, Josh Briggs approached not Dijak, Dragunov, and wanted a match, and then Trick Williams got involved and said, whoa, I'm protecting my investment. And so Josh Briggs challenged Trick, and now we have a match. Good match. Good, nice, solid match between these two. I wouldn't call it a Haas match, even though they're kind of both the same height. Trick is more of a, how do you call him? A hybrid. He's more flexible and loose around the ring, whereas Briggs is more of a Haas. So, but it was a good clash. It was a good clash of styles. These two had really good chemistry in the ring. This could be your big feud of NXT sometime down the line. And again, I like seeing Josh Briggs, get his due. I always thought he was really good. Out of the group with him and Jensen. So not to shit on Jensen, just I like Briggs a lot more. But this just goes to showcase what these two can do. Briggs had the endorsement from JBL last week, and that's kind of always been the talk about Briggs, is that he kind of is like a young Bradshaw. So during the match, Dragunov was on commentary, and Briggs, I think it was either Briggs or Williams that kind of flew at him inadvertently, and Ilya had to be held back after he wants to go after Briggs, and the whole crowd's chanting, "You fucked up, you fucked up, you fucked up." But really good match between these two. I like it. What'd you think?
It was a good TV match. Wasn't anything special, but I definitely thought both men worked hard in the match for sure.
Exactly. Afterwards, Trick and Mello argued. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, Mello did get involved after he pulled down Dragunov from the apron after Dragunov wanted to get in the ring and fight Briggs. Afterwards, Trick and Mello argued backstage about Dragunov's intentions. Again, just still playing up this, did he, didn't he? What are we going to do? What did Mello do? More than likely, this is going to be the match at, the takeover before Mania. And, because, Mello's pretty much already on the main roster. He just has to finish up business over here. So, in some ways it's a little confusing, because I know you said last week they kind of not ended it, but they kind of like maybe subtly closed the door on it for now. But they definitely do want to finish it up. We're just kind of like, it's like I said, I don't want to think that I'm thinking. So, but we'll see. And then the show ended with the contract signed with Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez to set up their match at Vengeance Day.
But by the way, did you see the heat that this one guy was getting on Twitter about talking shit about Ava's promo?
What did he say?
Let me see if I can bring it up. Oh, okay. It says so he said originally this guy named Marvin Movie Monster. He said, so apparently Skills is not hereditary. He was talking about Ava's promo.
Yeah.
And basically, he basically went on to say, he says apparently charisma isn't hereditary. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Well, let me finish. Then he went on to say, so my comment about the Rockstar's promo is blowing up. It wasn't meant to be an attack. It was an observation that she isn't very good on the mic yet. Being 22 female or the daughter of a movie star doesn't mean you're above criticism on national TV. And it says, obviously, I hope that she gets better. Then Ava went ahead and said, she responded to him. She says, you're a grown adult with "I probably don't like you" in your bio, who took the time to save a photo of me, tweet it, and then got scared because I got you some attention. Boo hoo, bitch.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Keith is saying roasted. I'm kind of conflicted because, again, the guy started off by being very condescending, but then ended it with, "I hope she does get better." He probably should have just led with that.
Well, these are two separate tweets.
Okay, so you said the first tweet was a different guy saying...
apparently charisma isn't hereditary. He said that during the promo on last night. Then it got attention. Then he says, somebody comment about the Rockstar, blah, 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 blah.
So it's the same guy, it's just two different tweets.
Two different tweets, nearly 24 hours apart.
I don't know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword because, like, he started off by being very condescending, and it's like, Sour Patch Kids. First he was sour, then he was sweet. Just Ava responding, and she has a point. Maybe she saw the first tweet and was like, "Fuck this guy," and then
she responded to the second tweet.
That's what I was kind of getting to, is maybe she saw the first tweet and was like, whatever, and then she saw the second tweet. It's like, okay, now you want to kiss my ass? Like, so. In some ways, I kind of agree with what Ava's saying, like, whatever, fuck off. Or what she say, boohoo, bitch. Yeah. But, I don't know. It's one of those things of, like, maybe you should just not respond to everybody that has something to say about you. Because, as far as, like, insults go, that was probably more tame. Because, they were, like, when she first debuted, like, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
She was getting, like, worse shit said about her, like more so about her looks, which again, that's Bush League talking about someone's looks. Yeah.
I will give the guy credit. He didn't put his comments on private or anything like that. You know what I mean? Because most people would in that situation. So he just had it out there because there are some people they'll say what they want, but they'll put their comments on private, or they'll but. But in this case, he left it on, just left it there, and he got the brunt, and he has a lot of people responding to him right now. So, yeah. I thought I should bring that up because it may show up in the news tomorrow, and it'll be too late to bring it up next week. So way too late.
Right. I mean, good on Ava for defending herself, but now that you got Daddy, working there more permanently from the way it looks, I'm pretty sure he's gonna say, maybe you should just not say anything to anybody. Like, just don't say anything at all. But we've talked about this with Ava, whatever you want to call her. It's just, she only had 2 matches more.
Yeah.
She's not very good. I mean, she's not very good on promos. I noticed that last night, very glaringly. She has a lot of time to get better. I never root for anyone to do bad in the company, and she seems like a sweet girl. She, as far as I know, doesn't cause problems and doesn't virtue signal or whatever. But just, again, I root for her to do better. Is she going to be her dad? No, and she shouldn't have to be her dad. Nobody should have to be...
comparing her to The Rock is just stupid anyway.
It's stupid as shit. It's like, I know it's two different people. It's like Cody and Dusty. Two very different people. When you saw Cody debut in WWE in 2007, was that your thought process of he's never going to be Dusty? It's like, no. we know he's not going to be Dusty because Dusty's fucking up all the way up here. He's in a league of his own, essentially. You know, and in some ways, Cody is kind of like Dusty with less of the sass and more of the theatrics. But just, yeah, again, I root for this girl to do well. I want her to do well, whether it's as a wrestler or an on-screen personality. We'll see. But she opened the contract signing by bringing out Lyra and Roxanne. I don't know if it's because like Roxanne's shorter or Lyra's taller, but Lyra looks fucking tall. I just want to point that out. But yeah, she basically
no, Roxanne's short, super short.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I don't know, maybe is Lyra just really tall, or is Roxanne just really short? But
Lyra is. I think she's like 5'4". I want to say.
Oh,
Roxanne's under 5 feet. I know that.
But yeah, just Lyra, just kind of pointing out, you know, things about Roxanne, that Roxanne has a different personality, that, you know, and she said something that I always said about her, is that she no longer has that personality of, hey, I'm happy to be here, and that she seems more vicious and aggressive. And, you know, Roxanne said what she said, and afterwards they shake hands, and right after that happens, Tatum Paxley, who had apparently been hiding under the table this whole time, appears from out under the table, and what is it? Not suplexes, but I guess chokeslams Roxanne through the table. Lyra comes out and she's pissed off, and she shoves Tatum and says, "What the hell you're doing? Stay away from me. I don't want anything to do with you." And then Tatum put on social media that Lyra has unfollowed me in all forms of social media. She hasn't been returning my texts. Which, Lyra, if you're listening, return Tatum's text, please. She's a sweet girl. She means well. But yeah, just what'd you think about NXT overall in that segment?
Last segment was fine. I thought they both did a good job going back and forth. You know, Tatum being there in support of Lyra is great. But they're doing the Mickie James Trish Stratus storyline, and I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but you know, depending on what happens next week, because next week is the go home show to Vengeance Day. Lyra may screw. Tatum may screw Lyra possibly out of the title. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll make that determination next week.
So how's NXT? Let's get to ratings. Last week, AEW Dynamite drew 891, which was actually up from the previous week. They also had a .33 in the demo, in the 18 to 49 rating. SmackDown drew a 2.408 million, and they had a .62 in the demo. Rampage drew a 390,000, .12 in the demo. AW Collision drew a 441,000 and had a .12 in the demo. WWE Raw from this past Monday drew a 1.686 million, which I believe was up from the previous week.
Right.
And they had a .55 in the demo. And the NXT ratings came out. They drew a 642,000, which I believe is down from the previous week. And they drew a .19 in the demo. So, there you have it, people. And let's do Royal Rumble predictions, and then we'll do news. Alright, so Royal Rumble is the 37th annual Royal Rumble. It's going to be this Saturday in Tampa Bay, which is actually the first time a Rumble has been held in Tampa Bay in front of a live studio audience, essentially, since 1995.
Yep.
So, I'm feeling a little dizzy for some reason. Can you, talk for a little bit? I'm going to get something to drink.
Yeah, sure. Let's do a quick little Q&A in the chat, if you guys are still here. Ask me a couple questions. Let's talk about this. What do you guys thought about AEW tonight? What do you thought about AEW? I don't know. Only saw the second hour. It was okay. Yeah, from the sense that I got from the show, it's still not what people are looking for AEW right now. I mean, there were some good matches on the show, but just overall, yeah, like a lot of people say that it was like a lifeless crowd. It felt lifeless. I liked Suzuki versus Copeland. I thought that was a fun match. Not gonna remember it by next week, but I thought it was fun for what I did see. Well, 500,000 or not, people still weren't fucking cheering. Maybe a full building, and it still would have felt lifeless to me, at least, But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Apparently, AEW too as well, I had a little bit more news stories here, but we went past it. But let me bring it up real quick. Where is it? Oh man. So AEW. Let me see if I can find it really quick here. This is from Andrew Zarian of the Matt Mang podcast. So he works with the Figure 4 Wrestling Online. Oh, well, Drew's back. Never mind.
No, finish up, man.
Well, I was just gonna say that from Andrew Zarian from the Matt Men podcast is saying that a source mentioned to me it's very possible for AEW to become a cable/streaming hybrid show, much like how the NBA simulcasts on TNT and Max. So
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so that's a little interesting there, but I think that's kind of I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. So anyway,
but sorry about that, guys. I got dizzy. Yeah, it just never really happens during a show, but just got a little snack and got something to drink, so I'm good now. All right, Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble was this Saturday in St. Petersburg, Florida, in the Tropicana Field, January 27th. So far, only 4 matches announced, which is probably what it needs. All right. Let's start with singles matches. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship.
Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul's going to win. It'll more than likely be a really good match.
Oh, it'll be a good match, but...
Might even be match of the night, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you got 4 matches. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
Ain't much to pick from.
I mean, maybe after Friday they might add another match, but more than likely I think it's just going to be 4 matches. And maybe like a big segment to kind of like stretch out time. Fatal 4-Way match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, LA Knight.
Roman Reigns.
So,
yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Do you think this main event's the show? Like it closes the show?
Yeah. I definitely can see it. Yeah, for sure. If it closes the show, something big's happening.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, because
something monumental's happening, and it may involve The Rock. Like after Saturday, we should know the direction of a lot of things coming up for WrestleMania.
Right, because last year at the Rumble, Roman Reigns' match with Owens closed the show, and the big Sammy reveal happened where he turned on Roman. So that's when you knew something was going to happen. If the Fatal 4-Way match ends the show, The Rock's going to come out and confront Roman. So with match placement, you can kind of tell where it's going to go. So
yeah. Now, if it's just the second to last match, I don't see that happening at all. Then, so yeah, to your point, match placement is going to be very key.
Right. Women's Royal Rumble match. 30 women Royal Rumble match. So far, the announced participants are Bayley, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Maxine Dupree, and Ivy Nile. This is interesting. This women's match is very interesting because it seems very open. It seems very much of a toss-up. On one hand, they're really pushing the narrative, or Bayley's pushing the narrative of, I'm going to win, I'm going to go on to face Rhea Ripley, which she could possibly win, and that's how you kind of like kickstart the feud with Damage Control, throwing her out, and then she feuds with Io, and it becomes Bayley and Io at Mania, which that'll be great. And the other thing is, people love Bayley. People have always loved Bayley, even when she was a heel, or she's still a heel. But even when she started as a heel, people still love Bayley. So, and people don't want to boo Bayley; they love Bayley. I love Bayley for reasons, but Bayley, she needs to be a face again. Maybe she can even do like a variation of what she used to be as a face, hugging people. Not necessarily going back to hugging people, but like be a little bit of that and a mix of what you're doing now. It just seems like perfect timing. And then you got, Becky Lynch, going after Rhea, which, again, I wouldn't be mad at that because that's her money match. You got Becky Lynch, who at the end of the day is still a big star. And then you have Rhea, who's your box office star. She's your Amazonian goddess. She's mommy. So either way, you have two really good choices, which more than likely look like they're going to be at Mania. It's just like who's going to win the Rumble. And then you have possibilities of, returns and debuts. You have, Naomi more than likely coming back, which at this point it seems like it's set in stone. You have Sasha maybe coming back. Yeah, maybe AJ Lee coming back. Liv Morgan possibly coming back. So overall,
I was gonna ask you, like, what's some of the surprise appearances that you think are going to be in this Women's Royal Rumble match?
Those, like, Michelle McCool has kind of been not confirmed, but is said to be at the Rumble. Whether it's in the, go ahead.
Yeah, Taker's doing the one Dead Man show, but McCool's been a central part of these Women's Royal Rumbles.
So good for Michelle McCool. I've always liked Michelle McCool. She kind of gets a lot of flack, and I don't know why, but I've always liked her. Maybe some NXT call-ups, or maybe just some surprises. You might see, might see Roxanne Perez in the Rumble, kind of like last year. You might see Lyra Valkyria in the Rumble to maybe do a spot with Becky. As far as surprises go,
let me name some names here, and you'll say yes or no if you think they're going to be in the Women's Rumble. Okay, Liv Morgan.
Yes.
Not really surprised, but she has to be on TV for a little bit. Raquel Gonzalez.
Wasn't she hurt? Is she hurt?
No, I don't think she's hurt.
Or she had like some infection or disease. I don't know, she had something.
Well, Raquel Gonzalez.
It wouldn't surprise me. So yeah.
Okay. I'm not trying to do like huge names yet. Michelle McCool.
Yeah, she'll be in it.
Kelly.
She'll be in it.
Melina.
Yes.
Let me think. Molly Holly.
Well, she works backstage, so she'll probably be in it.
Okay. Naomi.
If she's not in it, she'll probably debut the next night or before Rumble. Or before Mania, I'm sorry.
So, yes or no?
I'm going to say yes.
Mickie James.
I don't think so, because isn't she working for OVW?
Doesn't mean that she can't get a one-off.
True, but I'm gonna say maybe.
So yes?
I would like to, but I'm gonna say maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't.
Sasha Banks.
I'm going to say no, and not because I don't think she's not going to come back to WWE, but I think they're going to want to make her return a little more special. Because if she comes in the Rumble, I don't think she's going to win. And I think they want to have her make her return to the company a little more special. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say no.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That's all names I can think of right now.
All right.
No, Liv Morgan, obviously. I think she'll be in it. So
Nice. All right. So who are you picking to win the Women's Rumble?
I really got down to two names, or really three names: Bayley, Becky Lynch, and maybe a returning Naomi. I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch.
I'm going with Bayley because they've kind of been booking her where she's been coming out saying, I'm going to win the Rumble. I'm going to win the Rumble. So I think Bayley's going to win it. Give it to Bayley. You know,
I think Damage Control is going to screw her out of the
that.
Royal Rumble in some fashion.
Or that can be a way to kind of kickstart the storyline with Damage Control kicking Bayley out. So we'll see. But I'm going to go with Bayley.
Yep.
All right, men's Royal Rumble. 30-man Royal Rumble match. So far, the announced participants are Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Nakamura, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, Chad Gable, Otis, Akira Tozawa, Kofi Kingston, and Damian Priest. So far, from the way it looks, it's down to CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, which, I mean, they really hyped up this Rumble, you know, especially since Monday. They're really making you want to see this Rumble. Since we kind of already know who the final two are, who are you picking as like your final four? I mean, we already know it's Punk and Cody. Who's your other two?
I kind of want to save that.
What do you mean?
I want to go over kind of like we did with the women, who we think is, because I think if it happens, I think this person may be part of the final four.
All right, go for it.
Well, that's why I wanted to do. I wanted to go over like surprise entrances.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Go for it.
Oh, okay, got you. Andrade,
Yes.
Matt Cardona,
No.
Kazuchika Okada.
Ooh. It's funny because I think today is the 8-year anniversary when AJ debuted in the Rumble. So I'm gonna say yes. Okada debuts in the Rumble.
Sami Zayn.
Yes, and that coincides with who one of my final four is going to be. So yes.
Trying to think of other names here. Braun Strowman.
He had shoulder surgery not too long ago. If he's healed by that time, I would say yes.
Big E.
I would love to see Big E come in, but he's been kind of like, again, I won't say he's doing it, but like he's been saying, you know, he hasn't been given a timetable when to show up. So I would love to see Big E show up. So let me say yes.
The Undertaker.
I mean, oof. I mean, maybe this is the best way for Taker to show up, is he's in a Royal Rumble and he doesn't have to do too much. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Yes.
I'm trying to think of who else. Ilya Dragunov.
No.
Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Obafemi.
Oof. I'm gonna say no because I want to protect him. So no.
Well, not if you want to protect him. I'm just saying, do you think he's gonna show up?
No,
Doesn't matter if you want to protect him or not. Okay, I don't think so either.
no, I don't think so.
Mello,
Mellow Hayes, yes.
Trick Williams.
Ooh. I want to see that. I'm gonna say yes.
And let's say they have Mello and Trick Williams do a spot in the Rumble. Oh my God, that'll be great. That'll be great to see.
Or Mello,
All right, and
like Mello inadvertently throws him out. That can just
yeah, or something like that. You know what I mean?
continue.
Booker T.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Have Book come out. Book can still go.
That'd be great. All right. Last but not least, The Rock.
No, I don't want to see him come out. No, because if he comes out, you know what's going to happen.
Not if you want to see it. Do you think he's going to be in the Royal Rumble?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Again, I don't want to see it either, but the question is, do you think it's going to happen?
This goes back to what I was saying about match placement. If the Rumble ends the show, I think The Rock is going to come out. If the Fatal 4-Way match ends the show, then The Rock is going to come out. So, whatever match ends the show, The Rock is going to come out.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
right now I have the Rumble in the show, and going back to your question, I got The Rock in my Final Four.
Oh, wait,
I don't want to see it, but I think that's what's probably going to happen. I got The Rock. I got The Rock, Puck, Cody, Drew McIntyre.
I kind of have the same thing, but this is kind of what I was saying about Sami Zayn. So if Sami Zayn comes back in the Rumble, I think he's going to kickstart his feud with Drew, and then he's going to fuck over Drew and throw him out of the Rumble. And then Drew can get mad and throw Sami out. I don't know, like that can be like a thing where like Sami comes out and gets revenge on Drew, and then like he does a thing where he like throws out Drew, but he throws out himself at the same time. Yeah, and it's just like I don't care about winning the Rumble. I just want to kick your ass. Yeah. So my Final Four, if The Rock does come out, my Final Four is Punk and Cody, Rock, and Gunther.
Gunther too. Yeah, I forgot about Gunther.
If The Rock doesn't come out...
I'm changing Drew to Gunther, yeah.
If The Rock doesn't come out, Punk, Cody, Gunther, and Jay.
Because you gotta think about this, too. We got no one representing SmackDown. And really, The Rock will be technically, in a way, representing SmackDown, because obviously he's gonna be going after Roman.
Well... Okay, so here's what I was saying about match placement. So let's say the Fatal 4-Way match, debuts at the beginning of the show. Who's to say that Orton and Knight and AJ Styles can't be in the Rumble? You know what I mean?
That's true, but I wouldn't want to see it.
What do you mean?
Because they already got their opportunity to get the title. I get double duty on that stuff, but I personally don't want to see that.
I mean, you want more star power on the Rumble.
Yeah, true, but guys that are not going to win.
Yeah, but you're still getting more star power.
So you'll just have them do a double duty, and what did they earn to get the shot? They didn't declare. They should. If they declare, they didn't declare for the Rumble either. So what are they gonna go to me, it's unrealistic because you would have think that all 30 spots would be filled by the time that the Royal Rumble event starts. Then let's say, because I'm thinking about this from a complete kayfabe sense. Let's say, they get to the arena, and let's say Randy Orton, he declared himself for the Royal Rumble. Let's just say by a sheer miracle, Randy Orton, he's the new WWE champion. Then what happens to that spot? Is it just 29 men now?
I mean, it's happened before. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but it's happened before. So
I know it's happened before. I just don't want to see it.
I mean, maybe you can do a bit.
Power, but it doesn't make sense.
I mean, maybe you can do a bit with AJ where he's still pissed, and he kind of like in 05 when Kurt Angle bullied his way into the Rumble by taking Nunzio's spot. You can do that with AJ where he's pissed off and he ends up bullying his way into the Rumble. So I don't know.
I mean, they could do something like that, but like at the same time, I'm like, why?
Again, because I wouldn't mind seeing him in the Rumble, and also LA Knight is still over as fuck. You know, put him in the Rumble again, like you said, he's not gonna win, but again, just more star power. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna like cry over it. But who do you have winning the Rumble?
I was talking about this earlier inside my shop, and there was a gentleman that came over talking about the Royal Rumble, and he had CM Punk winning, and I was like, okay, yeah, so I can believe that. There's definitely a chance, but he said he didn't want Cody to win. I'm saying, okay, fine, that's fine, but he still thinks Cody is gonna go up against Roman at Mania. So my question to him was, okay, if Cody doesn't win the Rumble, how do you get Cody to Roman if Cody's a Raw superstar?
Right.
Do they finance a trade? Like, what happens, right? So that's the biggest thing. Like, if Cody doesn't win the Rumble, how do they get Cody to Roman Reigns? You know what I mean? Maybe it's the Elimination Chamber or something like that, but again, they're going to do a cross-promotional brand Elimination Chamber, which that will make sense. I think it has to be Cody that wins this.
True.
I think it has to be Cody that wins this. Now, if Cody loses, I'm fine with Gunther. I'm fine with CM Punk. There should really be realistically only 3 real winners to this. And if Rock's in there, then obviously we probably know what's going to happen. So realistically, there's 4 potential winners here. But as of right now, 3 is declared.
Let me ask you something. So, you and me kind of talked about an idea with the Rocket Mania that doesn't have to be the main event, but it can be like a thing where he teams up with Jay to go against Jimmy and Solo. Like, what if this happens during the Rumble? Like, Roman, has a discussion with, Jimmy and Solo. It was like, make sure you take care of business in the Rumble. And let's say like, actually, I just thought about this too, because I'm just trying to like brainstorm here. So let's say like, The Rock does come out in the Rumble, and Roman's pissed, and the Roman's like, go take care of my cousin, go do business in the Rumble, and Jay and Solo go out when they're not supposed to go out, and they eliminate the Rock, just to kind of set up that feud. What do you think? Do you think that's something that could work?
Let's set up the feud for the tag team match.
Yeah.
That won't be the way I want the tag team match to happen.
So how would you book it?
Because if you do that, then the Rock's beef, and remember he said, or should I set the head of the table? That'll make. I mean, The Rock. I can't be saying it, but that'll make The Rock look stupid. There, that they're not. The Rock, who's the new head, the board of directors, ain't gonna have himself booked like that.
Yeah, you're right.
If they were gonna have the tag team match, it's Rock, Roman, Elimination Chamber. Rock loses, right? Loses the match due to interference from Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso, after the match is over, comes out and saves The Rock. And Cody will already have won the Rumble, and he'll already will pick Roman Reigns too. So that will set up Cody, Roman, then The Rock could go focus on Solo and Jimmy with Jay.
Okay.
That's how I would do it. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but that's how I would do it if they were to go with that tag team match.
Here's something I didn't think about before. So, SmackDown's going to be on USA this year. And I'm pretty sure USA is going to want Cody on the show. Not just Roman, but also Cody. Do you think maybe that's kind of another play? Not to say it's like a full like power play of like, Cody won because USA won something. Like, do you think that's a thing of like, hey, we already have Roman here. He's, the biggest star in the company. We want the biggest babyface in the company on our show. Do you think that might be another way for Cody to get to SmackDown?
I don't care what USA wants. I mean, I understand. Well, this is what I'm saying, and this is the reason why I'm saying it. It has to make sense for TV. Like, if they just have Cody just show up, okay, great. Why are you here? What's the reason? How we get here? If he just shows up on SmackDown, hey, I'm part of SmackDown now, and there's no explanation. They need to have an explanation, or they need to do something with it, right? Obviously, USA wants Cody. Netflix wants Cody. Everyone wants Cody. Everyone wants Roman. So, to me, that doesn't really matter. What matters is how do they get there and how do they explain it. That's the story that they need to tell. So, and I think the easiest way is having Cody win the Royal Rumble. That's the easiest way. If they don't have Cody win the Royal Rumble, it's really difficult to get there at that point in time. Yeah, where you can tell all these other stories a lot easier. Like, for example, Punk and Rollins, right? Punk and Rollins, their story's already been submitted already, right? Have Punk win the Elimination Chamber, right? And you know what I mean? Have Punk win the Elimination Chamber and do that from there, right? Gunther. I forgot to mention Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is going to be in this Royal Rumble. He's going to eliminate Gunther. Mm-hmm. He's going to eliminate Gunther. Boom. That's your Intercontinental title match right there. Boom. Right there. Don't have to worry about it. Right there. Right. You got CM Punk versus Rollins because Punk won the Elimination Chamber. Right. Have Cody win the Rumble, and it's easier for Cody to get to SmackDown. Period. In the story. Don't make this complicated. Don't make this harder than what it has to be. You don't gotta make it harder than what it has to be at the end of the day. So,
yeah, you're definitely not wrong. But so let me ask you something before we kind of go to the news. I definitely want Cody to win, and you're right. Cody does need to win because if he's gonna go to SmackDown and go against Roman, it needs to make sense. It can't just be, oh, I lost, but I found a way to get on SmackDown. Like, make it make sense. Like, make it more cohesive and, like, easy to follow. And not just, like, I want to trade so I can go face Roman. Or whatever. So, last year at the Rumble, Cody came in at 30. This year, to really add more gravitas to his story, and to really make it feel like he earned it, do you have Cody come in at 1?
I wouldn't, personally.
Why?
Why does he need to come in at number 1?
It adds more gravitas to the story.
But if we know that he's probably going to win, it'll just... Like, he can come in at number 9. It's kind of the same thing we said last year. It's the same as that conversation we had last year. Him coming at number 1 is the inevitable. Right? He can come in early. It doesn't need to be number 1. It doesn't have to be number 1. If that was the case, they would have already made a big deal of it. We would know he'll be number 1 already.
I'm just saying, in like kayfabe, purposes, like him coming in at number 1 is like Cody came in at number 1. He eliminated 29 other men, and he's worked his ass off, and he's gonna finish the story. Blah, blah.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't need number 1.
But I'm saying, like, it doesn't matter if he comes in at 1 or 2 or 5 or 7 or 9. It makes it look better as far as, like, on paper. As far as, like, last year when he came in at 3rd and they were like, here you go. It's like, okay.
Cody would be in earlier. It doesn't need to be number 1. Like, I'd rather not have it be number 1 or number 2. If he comes in number 9, number 10, number 11, sure, great. But outside of that, yeah, no. That doesn't. If he comes in between 1 and 5, yeah. If he comes in between 25 and 30, yeah.
Pity, yeah. All right. But overall, we're both picking Cody to win.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the Rumble, people. It's going to be this Saturday, not Sunday as Gunther said, but Saturday. All right. So let's go on to the news, and we'll call it a night.
Did we go through the news already?
We went through some news pieces. We already talked about Finn Balor, his contract situation. Apparently, Cody Rhodes and The Rock had an exchange at WWE Raw. Fightful Select is reporting that a meeting took place right outside of Gorilla Position and was caught on camera by both the Rock's team and a WWE photographer. Several individuals heard the exchange, which was The Rock's support for Rhodes. The backstage feeling before The Rock's promo was that the Great One wasn't there to stand in the way of anything, and most didn't know his head of the table line was coming. The report further states that there had been word around WWE ahead that The Rock was getting a board seat, that WWE was trying to land him in some sort of contract deal, but nobody expected anything to the scope of that would happen on the 23rd. And The Rock has been a proponent and supportive of Rhodes, even when the latter was in AEW. So The Rock letting it known, that he's not there to squash anybody's heat, so to speak. He's not there to take anyone's spot. He's just there to make business happen. But which Cody kind of alluded to the same thing, that he says, I don't think The Rock's there to meddle with anything. He's just there to be The Rock. So, any thoughts on that?
Not really.
All right.
I believe it. It's just, we'll just wait and see what happens. That's all I can really say.
All right. Kevin Patrick out as SmackDown commentator. The reason for the removal just wasn't working out. Again, I don't want to say good, because he seems like a generally nice guy, and I think he works better as like a backstage interviewer and not a commentator.
Or like the pre-show panel as well. He's pretty good at that, the pre-show panel stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's good at that, because I think in the pre-show panel they're kind of like given free reign to kind of talk about whatever they want. Whereas an announcer, you have somebody yelling in your ear. Well, I mean, not so much with Vince out, but yeah, he really wasn't that good as an announcer. I don't want to say he was terrible, but he just wasn't good.
He wasn't one of the worst of all time, I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, definitely. But do you think WWE should just kind of keep two men at the announce table, or do you think they're going to add a third?
Well, they went back to a two-man announce table for a while.
No, I'm saying
since Cole left.
But I'm saying on SmackDown.
Yeah. So it was Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves. So yeah, it'll just continue to be a two-man booth.
Okay, so I'm just now, man, my mind's going blank. But I know on Monday it's Wade and Cole, and on SmackDown it was Graves and Patrick. So who do you think they're going to add as the second man for SmackDown?
They're gonna do Cole this Friday. After that, I have no idea. Maybe they'll bring up Vic Joseph. That's probably the easiest thing. But who's gonna replace Vic Joseph in NXT with Booker T? I'm pretty sure I'm more sure they got somebody ready already. So
I like Vic Joseph. I want him to stay in NXT, but I wouldn't be like. It wouldn't shock me if they brought him back, because I think he's actually very good. I think he's actually very under the radar. Do you think there's any possibility we'll see Pat McAfee come back?
Yeah, but Pat McAfee, he's not play-by-play.
What do you mean?
He's not a play-by-play commentator. He's color.
Okay, but I don't know. But
I would. So for example, I wouldn't want to see Pat McAfee and Corey Graves.
Why not?
Who? They're both color.
I like both of them together.
But you need to have a straight man there to call the action, like a Kevin Kelly, like a Jim Ross, like a Michael Cole. They're both color. Corey Graves usually is the guy that is the color guy, who likes the heels and things of that nature. Pat McAfee is the hype man. Like that won't work.
I think they would be like they actually would remind me of Paul Heyman and Jim Ross.
Jim Ross was the play-by-play. That won't work.
Also another thing that kind of comes into play, Jim Ross's contract with AEW is coming up. Do you think they bring back Jim Ross?
I think that can happen. I don't know if he wants to, because I don't know if he really. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't really mind the traveling or whatnot, and he knows the WWE system. But I don't know, man. Like he didn't sound good in AEW for the last year or so. I don't know if I want him back in WWE. Maybe for one-off matches, big-time matches like that. That'll be cool. Obviously, I would love to see that because At the end of the day, Jim Ross is the GOAT, and he's the GOAT of the WWE commentary. I like Michael Cole, but it's fucking Jim Ross. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, but I don't know if A, I don't know if I want to see him full time, and B, I don't even know if he wants to do anything full time anymore.
Yeah.
Like he has all this stuff going on in his personal life with health and stuff. Yeah, he had a few falls over the last year as well. Like the man's, he's like 73 years old, 72 years old.
So like overall, like who do you? Because as you said, Vic Joseph. If not Vic Joseph, then who else?
I don't know any other names down in NXT who they're doing commentary, so I can't give you a name. Maybe they can bring back Mauro Ranallo.
Again, I love Morrill. I would love to see him back, but he's kind of made it very clear I don't like the traveling. So maybe he can change his mind. Maybe he can go back to NXT, and then bring Vic.
I can't give you another name because I don't know who they have in the Performance Center.
All right,
training.
All right, man, I got you. But yeah, just I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. We might get a big surprise. You never know. John Cena says that he might retire in the next 3 years. He's about to be. He's actually 47. He'll be 50 in a few years. So, in a recent interview with ET, the 16-time WWE World Champion commented on his plans to retire before he hits the age of 50, juggling acting and wrestling and more. On his retirement plans, he said, "That's not a maybe. That time is going to come, and it's going to come soon. I made a promise to the consumer early on to WWE fans because I know how tough it is to be a fan. You got to come out of pocket, and WWE has a ton of content. It takes a lot to be a passionate fan, and our fan base is passionate and global. I never wanted to go out there just for the sake of it, just for the sake of going on out there. I just wanted to go out there just for the sake." I already said that, Jesus Christ. "I'm going to be 47 this year. I feel great. So inside, I feel great, but I know what it takes to be a WWE performer night in and night out, and I don't ever want to just go out there just to do it." Keith posted something. I'll read that in a bit. "I want to give them exactly what they give me. The miles on the speedometer say, hey, that's got to be done before 50. And then just talking about his upcoming movie. So, yeah, Cena looking ready to call it a day in the next few years. I mean, when that happens, that's gonna be a big time thing. WWE's gonna
sure
roll out the red carpet and John Cena his retirement tour, so to speak. I know Randy Orton discussed, that his dream WrestleMania match is to be against John Cena for the title. Do you think maybe that can be a Mania match, not for the title this year, but like that could be your best? Sure, that could be your best use of Orton and Cena at Mania, is to have an Orton and Cena match.
Yeah, I will definitely want to see that at some point in the next couple of years for sure.
So Keith, aka Keith, is saying in the chat, Showtime is ending their boxing events, so maybe Mauro Ranallo will come back to NXT.
No, I mean that's a possibility. I mean, if he goes back to NXT, he doesn't have to travel as much. He'll travel once a week.
True. So, yeah, again, I love Mauro, miss him. But, yeah, Cena possibly, or not possibly, but he pretty much says it's going to happen in the next few years. Cena going to call it a day from wrestling. What do you think about it?
To your point, it'd be a sad day, but, everyone retires, gets to the end of the road here. It was sad when Shawn retired, sad when Undertaker retired, sad when, Triple H retired. It's gonna be sad when Sting retires in next, about a month and a half from now. So, it's the cycle. It's the cycle of life. You know what I mean?
Circle of life, baby. Dark Side of the Ring is coming back on March the 5th, 2024. So in a few months, and they have already showed a trailer for what their season is going to be about. They have 10 episodes so far. Not sure if that's going to be split off into 2 parts, kind of like before, but so far, they have the episodes up. It's going to be about the Sandman, which that should be fun. Earthquake, Harley Race, your boy Buff Bagwell.
Oh yeah, baby.
Brutus Beefcake, Gentleman Chris Adams,
Chris Adams.
Sensational Sherry, Terry Gore.
I love Sherry.
That's going to be sad. Terry Gordy,
Yeah.
Black Saturday. No. And then Chris Colt. Who's Chris Colt?
Colt Cabana's best friend. I mean, no, he was he was a heel. I think he passed away like in the mid '90s or something like that. But he was like an independent wrestler, and yeah, like he had like a demons like with like alcohol and shit like that. So, yeah.
But that's all the news I got.
I have nothing. Yeah, we talked about everything already.
Let me do a This Day in Wrestling History, and then we'll call it a night.
Yep.
1963, an NWA World Heavyweight Championship match in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, set off a chain of events that would eventually see the creation of the Worldwide Wrestling Federation as a standalone organization from the NWA. In the match, Lou Thesz defeated Buddy Rogers to win the title. Majority of NWA owners didn't accept this change, and it was the straw that broke the camel's back that saw Vince McMahon Sr. branch out on his own. In April, Rogers would be named the first ever WWF champion. He held the belt for less than a month before losing it to Bruno Sammartino in less than 60 seconds, actually. So, there you go.
As I say, the rest was history.
Yes, sir. 1981, Orville Brown passed away at the age of 72 in Lee Summit, Missouri. 1988, the NWA Bunkhouse Stampede pay-per-view took place at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. The main event saw Dusty Rhodes win a Bunkhouse Stampede match, a multi-man cage match, Battle Royal where you had to throw your opponents around the cage. The other participants were Lex Luger, Warlord, Barbarian, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Ivan Koloff, and Road Warrior Animal. Also in 1988, the WWE's first ever Royal Rumble match took place on a special event on the USA Network. The match featured only 20 men and was won by Hacksaw Jim Duggan, where he eliminated one-man gang. In 1993, if you hear any snoring, that's my cat. 1993, the Arco Arena in Sacramento, California, played host to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. The main event was the first Royal Rumble match that gave the winner a guaranteed title match at Mania. Yokozuna won the match, last eliminating Macho Man Randy Savage.
I mean, Macho Man went for a pinfall.
Right. And then Bret the Hitman Hart defended his WWF Championship against Razor Ramon. 1998, WWE sold out, or WCW sold out, took place at Hara Arena in Dayton, Ohio. The main event was Lex Luger defeating Randy Savage. On the same night, Chris Jericho won the WCW Cruiserweight Championship over Rey Mysterio Jr. 1999, WWE's Royal Rumble No Chance in Hell pay-per-view went down at the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, California. Vince McMahon won the Royal Rumble by entering in with Steve Austin, and at the end, with the help of The Rock, he ended up winning the Royal Rumble. And then that was also the same night The Rock and Mankind had the one of the most brutal I Quit matches in WWE history.
Yep.
Which is still hard to watch to this day.
Yeah, if you watch Beyond the Mat, backstage stuff too as well with it is pretty fascinating to see.
Yeah, you had Mick Foley's family there watching him get his head caved in. It was it's pretty brutal stuff. 2000 on WCW Nitro, Sid Vicious defeated Kevin Nash to win the vacated World Heavyweight Championship. The belt had been vacant since Chris Benoit defeated Vicious to win the title and left the company earlier in the month.
You want to know how many times the titles changed hands in WCW in the year 2000?
Was it like 23 or 26?
I believe it was 25 times.
Jesus Christ. 2004, longtime kayfabe WWE president Jack Tunney died of a heart attack at the age of 68. We have a few more.
The first really main on-air authority figure in WWE history. So,
and lastly, and this is all that's on the list, 2016 Royal Rumble took place at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. The Rumble match itself was the most eventful in history. Roman Reigns was forced to defend his WWE Championship in the match. The first time in history this happened. It didn't actually, right?
wait, say that again?
It says Roman Reigns defended the WWE Championship in the Rumble in 2016, and it's saying it was the first time that anyone's had to do that.
Yeah, it's the first time that has happened.
So
To
92,
defend it,
so 92, the title was just like vacant, right?
it was vacant. Yeah, because of the Undertaker Hulk Hogan match at this Tuesday in Texas, here in San Antonio. So Jack Tunney, circling back, Jack Tunney made the title vacant. So it was for the vacant title. It wasn't being defended.
Right. AJ Styles made his debut in the WWE. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was actually watching it on my laptop in this room.
8 years ago. That's nuts.
Yeah, I just remember, like, because there was speculation: is AJ going to show up? Is he going to show up? And I just remember it, like Roman. The match began with Roman and Rusev, and then Roman just threw Rusev out, and you just see that close up of Roman in the corner, and all of a sudden you hear like Southern rap music play, and you're like, "Who the fuck is that?" And you just hear the crowd going, "Oh shit!" And you see Phenomenal on the screen, and it's AJ. And I just got hyped. I'm like, fucking AJ Styles is in WWE. Oh, man. I still get goosebumps thinking about it. But 8 years later, AJ's been doing pretty good. 2-time WWE champion. Main event at WrestleMania with Undertaker. So he's had a pretty good run here. And then Triple H entered the Rumble and ended up winning. He ended up becoming WWE champion. So that's all I got for this day in wrestling history. I mean, there's more. There's more, but we're not going to go through every single date. But that's the show, people. We did about 2 hours. We did close to 2.5 hours, and yeah. The Rumble is this Saturday. It's going to be big. I know you're going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it.
It's going to be huge.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be so huge. It's gonna be the biggest thing you ever seen. But just like I always say, shout out to everybody who supports us, who shows the show some love, who not only shows me love, who shows Justin love.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it.
If you're showing us love, we love you. But Justin, tell everybody about Spinebuster Tees. Tell everybody how they can find it, how they can find you. Tell them.
Yeah, Spinebuster Tees, spinebustertees.com. Currently right now got the winter sale up right now. So if you use winter 10 at checkout, you get extra 10% off any designs that you have here. If you spend over $50, you get free shipping as well. So so you do have that. Also Spinebuster Tees on Instagram as well. So follow me on my Instagram. If you are in the San Antonio area, come visit me at the Wonderland of the Americas Mall. And come visit me. Got plenty of action figures, a lot of different memorabilia available, from bobbleheads to Funko Pops to socks to T-shirts to autographs, vintage magazines, a little bit of everything. I have it. So, Spinebuster Tees on Instagram and spinebustertees.com.
Nice. And you know where to find me. Twitter, X, Instagram. I have a Facebook page, Drew Yari. And also have a YouTube page. I have a Twitch channel too. I don't promote that enough. I have a Twitch channel where I just game a little bit. Currently I'm playing The Walking Dead Telltale series. It's really good.
Which on the first or second one?
I'm on season 2.
Yeah, the first one is very, very good. Second one's better. I mean, not better, but I don't know if I like the first one or second one better. But they're both really good though. Both really good.
Yeah, the first one, Jesus Christ. Like, I was so wrecked after that last episode.
I know exactly what you're about to say. So yeah, I know what you mean.
And then season 2 kind of looks like it's going in a direction, like when they brought in Negan, kinda. I mean, because I didn't read the Walking Dead comic books. I know my sister has, but I think these games are kind of separate. They're kind of their own thing, from the comic books and the show.
Yeah.
So, but so far I'm digging it. I like the Telltale games. I played the Batman Telltale games, and I played the Guardians of the Galaxy one. I really do like it. I'm bummed that the studio went bankrupt.
Have you played? I think it's called like the Wolf Among Us or something like that.
Wolf Among Us. That's on my next my next thing to do, and it's only $15 on PlayStation.
Yeah, they think they got part 1 and part 2 for it. So
yeah, I think they have the whole series. It's like 5 episodes, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So I've been hearing really good things about that series. So I'm gonna play it as soon as I'm done with Walking Dead, because I have this bad habit of getting like too many games when I have like one game I'm focusing more on. So I need to focus more on this series. But yeah, I love the Walking Dead game. It's a lot more, and I want to compare the two because they're both like they're both similar, but they're also different. It's a lot more emotional than like Last of Us. And
yeah.
Last of Us to me is like it's in my top 10 of my favorite games of all time. The first one and the second one, they're in my top 10. But there's just so much more with this story. Whereas The Last of Us, it's more so about Ellie and Joel.
Right.
Whereas this one, it expands. There's like so many characters that you have different emotions towards, whether it's like, I love Lee. I love Clementine. I hate Larry because he's a racist piece of shit. I love all these other characters. I feel very strongly about all these other characters, whereas like The Last of Us, it's very much about Ellie and Joel. And again, not comparing, not saying one's better, not one's worse, but I like that there's more to this story than what is going on in Last of Us. So, but I'm on Twitch. I'm playing the game. If you want to check that out, I'll even put in my Twitch link. Right after we're done. But yeah, Twitch, Patreon, $5 a month. I do a show with Ruben Prime called Culture Attack. We usually do that every other Monday, so 2 Mondays a month, where that show is just us talking shit about everything that's going on in entertainment, wrestling, movies, TV shows, what have you, and sometimes some real life shit. And then I do a show with RJ, Attack of the Savage Nerds, which we haven't done in a while, but we're going to put out a new one pretty soon. And I do a show with Jeff Lippman called Garden of Droom, which that's usually a monthly show, because Jeff's a busy boy, as we always say. But it's $5. He's busy bee. But it's $5 a month, people. And whenever I'm able to, whenever I have a day off, me and RJ and Monty do the Trifecta Threat show. It used to be every Sunday, but now I'm working Sundays. But whenever I'm available, we try to do a show. So I'm off this weekend, actually. I mean, hopefully I'm off this weekend because I put in for some days.
Oh yeah.
For a Rumble.
But
weekend.
I was gonna ask you, how many patrons are you trying to get this year? Like, do you have a goal?
In a perfect world, I would like to get at least maybe 20.
20 total? Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
I mean, I would love to have wrestling soup numbers, but if I can have at least a fraction of that, that'd be great. But if I can get at least 20, and I always say the more patrons we can get, the more shit we can do for the shows. We could afford better equipment. We can maybe even put out more tiers. Maybe even give away some shit. Because I actually do have some shit I would like to give away. I have some bobbleheads, maybe some books, some wrestling books, some DVDs if you're interested. So, I don't know, just Patreon, just $5 a month. You won't find a better deal than that. But, what else was I going to say? And then just shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who supports the show and loves us, and we love you guys in return. But
absolutely.
That's the show. We did over 2.5 hours, and we got everything we need to get. We got all our shit in, brother. But we are done for the night, and we will see you. We're Well, we'll see you next week, but we'll see most of you hopefully watching the Rumble. But thanks, Maurice. Good show. All right, guys, take care. Peace out, and be safe.
Safe.